I appreciate all of your love. As we head into Friday morning, let's not waste any more time discussing the current state of XRP. All things considered, it's a fantastic day. Right now, everything appears to be up. It is true that a small number of coins are down. Therefore, it goes without saying that I should also mention that. However, if you look at the last week, you'll see that almost all of the market is up right now. XRP is up about 7.3%, and at $3.05, it's up 1.4% in USD. We're up about 0.3% in Bitcoin, and its comparative valuation is above 180 billion, exactly at 182 billion as of this update. The 24-hour trading volume is also through the roof, at 6.2 billion. As always, people should note that nothing on this channel is financial advice. Always conduct your own research and due diligence before making a cryptocurrency investment. After discussing some important points to remember, we will naturally discuss the cost and conclude the update. Thank you for enjoying these little updates, everyone. Feedback has been fantastic from the start, and it's clear that you guys are backing it. However, on September 11th, ETF flows of about 552.7 million Bitcoin and 113 million Ethereum were purchased. People believe that we aren't receiving such inflows, but there was a small snag in that situation around 2.5 weeks ago. Indeed, it is true that whales are selling Bitcoin, and the proceeds are moving into Ethereum. Other altcoins are receiving that money. That is the true start of altcoin season. Dominance declining does not imply that it is happening suddenly. We must comprehend some of the technical aspects of it. However, ETF figures continue to appear out of control, and we don't want to ignore that. Check out what Zoom has to say. One of the top performers in this cycle has been and will be XRP. Indeed, XRP will enter a price discovery phase, resulting in record highs. And based on what we recently witnessed with XRP, I concur with that, attaining a blatantly official record high. Naturally, many people want to see an unofficial all-time high, but given how the price of the extra piece is now holding and how the market is heating up, I believe that will happen soon. And I believe that the rate cut could actually usher in some exciting times for the cryptocurrency industry. So far, so good. And I completely concur with Zoom's assertions, but let's examine this. The value of real-world assets on the chain hit a new all-time high of $29 billion. And I continue to believe that this is still very early in the process of tokenizing real-world assets. Speaking of tokenizing real-world assets, we did hear that BlackRock is looking into tokenizing exchange-traded funds ETFs. So that will be an interesting development. But are we surprised? Not on this channel, please. Let's investigate this. The market anticipates a 93% chance of one rate drop in September, which is undoubtedly this coming week. According to the CME Fed Watch tool, the possibility of one rate drop to 4% to 4.25 is then stated. I apologize. Yes. Thus, there is a 92% chance of 2 cuts by December and roughly 0.25 VPS. That's crazy. Thus, it is projected that 2 cuts are visible. Once more, I've been discussing how I envision things unfolding on my channel. Naturally, I believe that a double rate decrease at one FOMC meeting would be the most positive moment. That, in my opinion, would be a significant factor, and a lot of momentum could develop because, to put it in perspective, if we see a 0.5 BPS instead of a 0.25 BPS, that means more money in people's pockets. And that money could flow into markets like these, which is where the excitement really comes in. Furthermore, naturally, wishing to investigate riskier assets as investors, it is more apparent that they are open to exploring those kinds of possibilities. But look at Canary's XRP ETF and this DTCC list Fidelity Solana ETF. I hope you all realize how important this is to predicting what is ahead. This is one of the first steps before the ETF actually launches, and it's a massive, tremendous, huge event. So, will we actually witness this happening soon? Personally, I believe it goes unspoken. We are discussing the extent to which these two particular assets have been exposed to ETFs, both from the perspective of investors and developers. I'm not surprised by this, and we should be paying more attention to it than we realize. Although I am aware that many people ignore this, I will reiterate that we must see it because it demonstrates how all the parts of the puzzle are fitting together. Finally, the fact that Circle's USDC received a B+ rating from Blue Chip should serve as a wake-up call, given that it is the stablecoin that powers treasury operations and payment remittances worldwide. As the top stablecoin regulated by the NYDFS, held by BNY Mellon, and completely backed by USD's treasuries and money market funds, Ripple RLUSD received a rating earlier in July, is their most recent table of ratings. Well, so are Gemini and PYUSD, but we must take note of what they have accomplished in such a short period of time because RLUSD is going to pick up a lot of steam. I believe this is where it will be used even more in the future because of the integration of the XRP ledger, growing interest in tokenization, and the growing usage of the XRP ledger, naturally in cross-border payments as well as. Perhaps additional organizations might like to integrate our UST. That's where the real excitement starts. Let's look at the price in terms of dominance. Over the past day, there has been a significant pullback, which is wonderful to see again. We're not too upset because Bitcoin is now registering this update beyond our confirmation level of 115,000. We did see a slight retracement after reaching $116,300, but we are back above our confirmation. To reiterate what I said, we should keep an eye on how Bitcoin is holding and that it has been on an upward trend. As far as the price of the extra piece is concerned, keep in mind the work one discussed with you guys yesterday at $3.17. And I did say that we could see the price creeping back up and actually filling this week. So far, so good, you know. Our aim is still the same people, so we're back over the $3 ski region, which is obviously a massive, huge resistance for resting above here beautifully at $3.05 before moving back to the 312. Naturally, that makes it possible for us to begin retesting that week, which we only observed a day ago. So far, so good. You know, you can't really complain about the cost of the extra piece. Returning to what Zoom refers to as price discovery phase, that represents a mere 20.4% movement from our current position. That, I believe, brings us to both the official and unofficial all-time highs. Then, a new official all-time high, of course. And that makes everyone happy. The reason for this is that, although many exchanges did not record the 380 as an all-time high, it is actually considered an unofficial all-time high. This is why some individuals want to see it retested. Thus, once more, we will proceed cautiously. Everything is going okay so far. We will focus on the grand scheme of things. I adore you all. I'll see you later. Peace out, ZX and B in crypto.